everything is not enough. Really out by the ocean, and along those white hot sands, where every sunrise is just for you. So come along and take my hand.
I think that's about it. I'm in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing today? Yes, I'm your host, the Haitian. The Haitian. This is actually my very first live stream, y'all. Yeah, I was gonna wait for a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do a live stream because I don't know how it's gonna actually turn out. And I'm like, purchase a mic. I got this freaking headset, and y'all get to see my nappy hair and all that good stuff. I'm not wearing my goofy ass hat today. So I'm like, why not? So yeah, so how y'all doing? Today is gonna be somewhat quick, I think. I'm not gonna be staying for long because I still got some driving to do. But I just wanted to actually I had some good connection and I'm like, yeah, let me just test it out real quick, see what's going on and stuff. All right, so what are some of the topics that we're gonna be discussing today? I have about like 4 topics that I wanted to actually brushed up on. And as you all may be aware, I haven't really been as active as I once was on YouTube because one, YouTube kind of screw up my well, technically it's not really YouTube's fault, it's kind of my fault because some of the TOS I wasn't really thorough with it. So then when I started doing the shorts, and then because the way I've done the shorts and stuff like that, right, it wasn't up to YouTube guideline standard, and they kind of took away my monetization. Oh, I was so pissed. I'm like, what the hell? I was doing so much better too. And then there was also like beats I was using from an app, from my editing app, right? Apparently those beats are copyrighted. So I couldn't use them, but I didn't know that. So I figured, hey, I'm using the app, so basically I can use those beats. But nope, I guess not. I couldn't. So then that added on to the all the stuff going on. So a lot of these videos, I was getting like copyrights warning or restriction on them and everything. And once you start having that, then what YouTube start doing now, they actually start putting the screws on you. Like shadow banning your videos and all that stuff. So which is why my video count went from like, getting like hundreds of views to sometimes thousands of views to now barely scraping by. That pissed me off. I'm like, F you too. But I figured out like I have to like remember why I was doing this to begin with. Because, hey, I think it's fun. I think it's fun just coming over here, just talking crap, right? I see a couple of videos and it's just like spark an idea and I'm like, I gotta talk about this, right? So I have to remind myself why I was doing this. And do I want to actually make turn this into a revenue stream in the future? Hell yeah. Of course I do. Who wouldn't? But at the same time, I have to remember, like, why I'm doing this because I want to provide a counterbalance to a lot of the BS that's been talking, especially in the culture, right? And some of you guys may ask, like, well, why am I doing this, right? Is it like some self-grandizing, like, I have like some sort of an ego, I need to like stick it to the man or whatever? Yeah, I guess. But on some real stuff though, like I think the main reason I'm doing this is one, I think for evil to prevail, good men have to remain silent. Or good people and good individual have to remain silent. And from what we're seeing in this whole culture dynamic is because the reason why it's so ratchet as it is right now is because so many good people just stay silent. So many people had like, we talk about a lot of these things behind the scene, with friends and family members, stuff like that, right? When we're looking at some of these crap, be like, these people are crazy. These people are insane. Like, what the hell is wrong with them, right? But because we didn't make our voices heard in the public sphere, then it kind of seems like the crazies were the majority, but in reality, they are the minorities, right? You have like, let's say what passes on as true masculinity nowadays is people like Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, and a whole bunch of other goofball that, yeah, they can teach you how to screw around. They can teach you how to get, clap some cheeks. But in reality, like to have a fulfilling life, to have actually a happy relationship, They can't teach you that because they don't have that themselves. Like, how are they gonna teach you something that they don't have? How are they gonna teach you how to spot a good woman when they don't even know how to do that themselves? Because if they did, they would have a good woman by now, right? So the only thing a lot of time they're good for is to actually teach these young men how to, to actually chase pleasure, but not purpose. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this, is because, like, so for so long, good individual remain silent while these idiots running amok, whether it's men or women, right? And nobody's checking them. And also the fact that I do have little nieces, little nephew, have a daughter. Like, if I'm not speaking out on this, right? These are the goofball that's gonna date them. Listen, I will be damned to have a whole bunch of little mini Tates running around. Trying to spit game to my daughter. Hey, you want to get in my Bugatti? Yeah. What you bring to a table, love? Yeah. I'm sorry. It's a horrible British accent. But my whole point is this: like, I do have people in my life that I care about, right? And whether it's from the men perspective, I do have little cousins, stuff like that. They start dating. Sure, they can actually learn how to spot the bad behavior. Because, listen, the red pill, they do a decent job, letting guys spot some of the bad behavior. But what they do also is actually, like, they don't do a good job at also spot to show the bad behaviors within themselves, right? So yeah, it's easy to point out, yeah, these bras ain't crap, these bras ain't crap, these women ain't, right? But what if the toxicity within? Like, what if some of the bad behaviors within, like, we're not realizing there's like a whole tit for tat going on. Like, okay, women do this, so I gotta do this. Oh, women cannot be faithful, so then therefore from the gate, I'm gonna start screwing about. I'm not gonna be loyal to anybody. Right? These are some toxic behavior, right? But anyway, let's get to the topic of today. The first topic I want to talk about is Avatar. Yes, Avatar. I've been binging on Avatar for, actually, last week I binged on Avatar, right? And I didn't have that. I want to talk about this thing, man. So Avatar: The Last Airbender. This was one of my favorite comic growing up, right? My favorite anime growing up. Well, like, a lot of people would do, I don't know, like, where to put Avatar, right? Because some people would not classify it as an anime, be like, well, because it was made by Westerners, so then therefore it can't be an anime. But other people would be like, but it has the style of an anime, so then that's classified as an anime. But my whole point is, I don't care about the discussion, right? The whole thing is, this show was epic. I'm a comic book fan. I love anime. I love comic book. I'm a nerd, right? But so now, with the comic adaptation, live adaptation and stuff like that, or Avatar, the movie was crap. Nobody's gonna dispute that. The Avatar movie, The Last Airbender, was it was dog crap. It was dog nuggets. It was terrible. So now, as you can tell, the way Hollywood was going lately, I gotta admit, I was a little bit scared. Because these mother was messing around, and they were destroying every IP that they touched. They grabbed the Lord of the Ring. They fucked that up. They grabbed my favorite series, which is The Wheel of Time. They also fucked that up. So you have to forgive my skepticism when they announced that they were actually gonna have the Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're gonna have a series adaptation of that. And I was like, oh no, please don't fuck it up, please don't fuck it up, please don't fuck it up. And then I was like, I ain't touching it. I ain't touching it for now, right? So my wife watched it, and she was like, oh babe, you would not believe it. They actually did a good job. Get out of here, you for real? It's like, yeah. So, and then she was talking about it. I'm like, I hope they didn't fuck it up, right? So I jump on Netflix and I checked it out. And surprisingly, they did a really good job. But Here's the thing that pissed me off, right? Here's the thing that's pissing me off right now. Because a lot, right, a lot of these adaptation, the reason why there has been dog crap is because you have all these social justice warriors, all these mofos, DIE or DEI or all these other brand like diversity, inclusion, and all this other crap, right? So what they tend to do, they put the message before the story, right? And it's not like I'm not saying that diversity cannot be done right, because let's face it, you have a what's this show? It's like a chick show, but it's actually pretty good. It's like Charlotte or Queen Charlotte. No, that Queen Charlotte is the second part. That's like a runoff to it, or it's like a prequel to. My girl loved that show, and I ain't gonna. It's not my girl. I love that show too. Basically, it's like the setting was in Victorian era England, but they actually have a whole bunch of different demographic in it. You have like black people in it. You have like Indian people in it. The way that they did it, the way that they compelled the story was freaking great. And they did not make, let's say, slavery and all this other crap the forefront or like right in your face type of thing. Yeah, is there like a level of propaganda in there? Yeah, sure. Just like all these other old movies back in the days, there was some propaganda in there. But the writers were so skillful at actually pushing those propaganda. It was like it was very subtle, right? And nowadays, what we have a whole bunch of unskilled writers. They don't know how to actually write dialogue. They don't know how to do a lot of these things that these skillful writers used to do. All they know how to do is push a message. But the problem is, when you make it so obvious by pushing this freaking message, no one really care about some of these. Listen, we get into the entertainment because we would like to get away, escape the daily politics. We would like to escape all these BS that's going on. So we use these forums as a way to escape this crap. But then when you come about, right, trying to push your BS upon us, which nobody really give a damn about, right? So then it makes people resentful, and that's why Hollywood is in the state that it is right now, where they're actually losing millions of dollars. They keep flopping over and over and over again. So then now, understand my predicament when I have to approach the Avatar, The Last Airbender, my favorite childhood stories. I was scared that these mother was going to try to it up. I was afraid. And they subdue my expectation. Is that even a right word? Basically, what I was expecting it to be dog. I was expecting it to be ass nugget. But they did a good job. They actually surprised me. Sokka was freaking great. They did that show Sokka as like, and because the whole thing was you're supposed to, in order for you to elevate female characters, you have to crap on the male characters. But no, they didn't do that. Even though they elevate the female characters, but guess what they did? They did not crap on the male characters. Everybody had like a growth. They have like a backstory. They were actually like, they have a character arc. It was freaking awesome. Like, dude, I was so surprised that they did not mess that up. However, it's only season 1. It's only season 1. And what people, those who actually have their only skills is to destroy, what they tend to do is they find out things that are successful, so they come through, they try to take over because they don't know how to build anything themselves. What they do, they take over and they get up for everybody else, piss people off, and then move on to the next IP. So, even though I'm hoping that doesn't happen to Avatar, even though I'm hoping, Netflix, if you're listening, please, 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 please don't let these goofballs get nowhere near this IP. Because what you're doing right now, you're doing great. As soon as you hear somebody say like, oh, Sokka is sexist, kick your ass out of there. As soon as you hear like, oh, but you need to do this to kick their ass out of there. Stick to the storyline. It was a great adaptation. You guys did fantastic. Please don't screw that up. Thank you. Now, speaking of cultural stuff, right? One of the things that was making headline nowadays, right, is now getting out of the movie situation. Now let's get back to, let's say, video games, right? We're gonna touch on that for a little bit. So for the past couple weeks, there's this company called Sweet Baby Inc., right? So basically what they do is they actually get into these video games companies. They try to make changes with the storyline, try to make it more, identity politics, basically, right? It's like you can no longer enjoy your favorite video games anymore without having all these social justice warrior bullcrap that gets injected in there. So then now there was this person, there was this streamer that was like, all right, I gotta find out what other games that this particular company already screw up. Right? So they start making a list. So of course, Sweet Baby Inc. found out, so they lose their be like, oh, you putting us on the list. We gotta cock block these people. We gotta report their channel. We gotta report their Twitter feed and all that stuff, right? And of course, when you do that, you have the Treisen effect. So then when you have the Treisen effect, people who actually wasn't really paying attention that much, and then when they see your overreaction to when those who try to bring sunlight to your BS, because sunlight is always the best medicine, right? So then now you're losing your crowd. They're like, oh, so that's what's going on here. Let me find out what Sweet Baby Egg is really all about. And then now something that they could actually, run through unscathed, and they end up making it a bigger deal than he actually is. And then now you have something called Gamergate 2.0. But, like, why is it that this individual feel the need to try to corrupt everything that they touch, right? Because it's not like, oh, look, right? So, for example, like the Ripperverse comic, it's run by this individual called Eric July, right? Black dude, he created his own comic book universe, and now they're on their fourth book coming up, their fourth campaign, successful as hell, right? Yara, number one coming out. So it's like, I'm supporting it because it's not only just an alternative. It's because, like, I'm supporting a black man that's actually doing something great, and the product that he's providing is actually great product. And to me, it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? So then now comparing this to this individual whose sole purpose is to change the IP of these classic, the thing that the people love, right? And it's not like they're don't going out there buying these things, right? They're not investing their money, their dollar onto these IP. No, they're actually, the thing that they get the joy out of, it's not making sure that the IP continue. Because you would think that, hey, if it's not important to you, you would make sure that you would be the one that go to see those movies that are dog shit, right? You would be the one that would actually buy those video games that you change into dog crap, right? You would do all these things. You would actually put your money where your mouth is. But no, the enjoyment, because they're narcissists, the enjoyment is not so much to continue these things, right? Because they already see these IP as evil. They already see these intellectual property as evil. The enjoyment is to destroy them. The enjoyment is to make sure that you don't enjoy them. They don't care about this stuff. They make sure that you don't enjoy them. They make sure that they crap on what your favorite, let's say, your childhood memory. They crap on your favorite superhero. They crap on your favorite genre of movies. So that's why you have all these these things being made. Let's say Star Wars is dog crap. Everything that you used to love about going, in the entertainment industry is now crap because they want to, like, I guess in a way, to try to stick it to the man. They try to stick it to those bigots. They try to stick it to, I don't know who, because, like, if you don't make a product that I enjoy, I'm just not going to spend money on it. So who are you truly destroying? I mean, yeah, sure, I might be sad that my favorite comic book character is now crap, or is like freaking Robin is bisexual or whatever the case may be. Like all this other crap, right? Instead of creating a new character that have your sexual preferences, now you want to corrupt the ones that people already enjoy, so then therefore you could spread the message, and nobody cares about that. And when people don't buy this crap, all of a sudden, oh, you bigots! Oh, we gotta make Little Mermaid black. And speaking of which, right? Speaking of Little Mermaid, right? I was having this conversation with one of my boys, right? Well, it's one of my best friends, and then he was like, well, technically, Little Mermaid is like, it was pretty much created in the Caribbean, so then therefore it would make sense for the Little Mermaid to be black, right? Because and then he pointed out, let's say the Sebastian under the sea, right? So to which these are some valid points. All right, you're just switching one character black to white or white to black, whatever, right? And then it dawned on me. I'm like, all right, cool. But here's the thing. You can either be right or you can be practical, right? Because these characters, let's say you have Little Mermaid, Snow White, you name it, right? All these characters, they try to switch it up to, give it a black face or something like that, right? These characters, like Western civilization or the Western world, grew up with these characters. So now you try to invert this character into some sort of whatever, right? Whatever the ideology that you try to portray. So then now what you tend to do is like, okay, in your mind, you might be right. You might have the argument like, well, how many times that white people, take over Indian characters or Mongolian characters or all these other characters, like, white people. Oh, the most famous one, Jesus. How many times white people did that? Cool. That is a valid point. Right? But now the question is, it's not me you have to convince. It's not your conscience you have to convince. You have to convince the customer base, because these are the one that's going to have to pay for your product. So then therefore, if let's say the majority of your customer base don't want Ariel, don't want the Little Mermaid to be black, it doesn't matter if you're right. It just means that it's not going to sell. You're not going to sell the tickets. You're not going to sell out the theater, right? So it doesn't matter if you have a valid argument. Same thing with all the stuff that, you guys, a lot of these woke mafia, the woke mob, want to portray, want to turn into some sort of justice or reparation towards, for, I guess, minority or black people. Cool. You could change all these characters, whatever the hell colors you want, which is kind of weird. Like they all keep changing those redhead, the gingers, into black character. So now you can do all that, but if the public don't want to consume your product, then it doesn't matter how righteous you think you are. Because at the end of the day, people tend to vote with their feet, right? And if the majority of the population, your customer base, no longer don't want anything to do with you, or your message or whatever the hell ideology you try to sell them, there's nothing you can do about it, right? Which is, and also what these guys don't understand is like, you are creating an alternative, because for too long we rely on, let's say, big corporation to create entertainment for us, right? But then now this entertainment industry has been infiltrated with that, I guess what Elon Musk called it, the woke mind virus. So then now it kind of forced people like, let's say, Eric July to create the Ripperverse, right? It kind of forced people like, let's say, the Daily Wire to actually have their own movie brand type of thing, right? Or like all the industries start to pop off, like let's say Angel Studio, Ripperverse Studio, and you have all these other people. I mean, you have the Drinker, Critical Drinker. He has his own books. Everybody, so it sparks the creativity of people that actually now see an opportunity of all these customer base that is being dissatisfied or disenfranchised by this so-called woke Hollywood. So to them, they're like, I'm gonna pay more attention to the alternative. And people who actually now have a better incentive to create the alternative because they now can compete with Hollywood, whereas before they couldn't. You know, so that's the good deal that come out of it. So I guess in a way, like it's a good thing that the wokies or these woke individuals are doing what they're doing because it actually opens up many doors for those who actually want to compete in the industry now. So yeah, that's the way to see in the glass half full. Now, even now, speaking with industry and stuff, right? Or speaking with having alternative. I think the reason why the culture has shifted to the way that it is right now is because people felt like they didn't really have an alternative, right? One of the reasons why I am motivated to do what I'm doing right now is because I felt like for so long, let's say married men, right? They've been bashed in the media. And then once they're now being bashed in the media, they're now being bashed by red pillars, right? People at one side of their breath, one side of their neck will say things like, well, I think being married is the foundation of Western society of any civilization, right? But on the other end, actually talking crap about men who are actually married, calling them simps, calling them like blue pill, calling them a whole bunch of names because they're married. I understand if you are in a marriage and then you are unhappy, stuff like that. You either fix the situation. If the situation is not being resolved, then you leave this. I get it, right? But at the same time, you cannot claim that you know Western any good civilization depends on marriage, which is the foundation of family, the foundation of like wealth and all that stuff. But what you're preaching, you're not preaching these young men how to find a good wife. You're only pointing out the negative of womanhood, right? Which is easy to do. It's not that difficult. Listen, it's not that difficult to find idiots online doing idiots stuff, right? And therefore, let's say you take a guy like Fresh and Fit, right? Because I found this clip. I gotta find this clip for you real quick from Fresh and Fit, right? Let's see if I can find this real quick. But check guy, hold on a second. Does that mean I feel it? Oh, all right. So while I'm waiting, I'm gonna put this on real quick. So now we're about to check out this we're about to check out this thing real quick, right? So me set it on real quick. Screen sharing workbase, blah blah blah. All right.
They've learned anything.
So,
probably how to respect and how
Let's,
to have a long-term healthy relationship with a woman
all
that
right.
you can call your wife and have a family with.
How do you get a wife, Ethan? Because my thing is like you're like you're talking about the finish line. What about the race?
Yeah.
You stand like you have to get
Are
to a
either of
certain
you
point
married?
All
where
right,
you can even
If there's
let's start this again. All right, so now Ethan, one, I don't really like Ethan, right? Ethan, that's he's a YouTube commentary, right? Certain of his take is dog crap, but it just to show like when, let's say you have a guy like, let's say you guys have guys like Fresh and Fit, right? The formula of Fresh and Fit is you find women that are extremely dumb. I mean, yes, you find women that are extremely dumb, extremely materialistic, and who just like going through life try to pretty much with their OnlyFans and all that stuff, right? And then these are the women that you address, you bring them to your show, and then you dunk on them, you show your audience, be like, see, this is how stupid modern women are. And then your audience applauds you. They're like, yes, that's right. Show these modern women. Tell them the truth. Kick them out, right? Because their audience, for the most part, are just, young, impressionable men. Some of them are incel. And a lot of them wouldn't dare talk to a woman that way. So they find they find the courage of mistreating these dumb young women, through Fresh and Fit. So then now, because these, Fresh and Fit are doing something that they wish they could do and get away with, so then now they became a fan. However, now when Fresh and Fit come across individuals who are actually smart, let's say Abba and Preach, all that facade of masculinity just kind of fall to the wayside, because at the end of the day, they're not truly masculine men. They are podcast masculine. There's a difference between true masculinity and podcast masculinity. And it's going to show you how easily their BS get debunked here on this interaction with this guy, which I don't even like. I don't care much for Ethan Klein, but let's check it out real quick.
Men that watch this show, if they've learned anything, it's probably how to respect and how to have a long-term healthy relationship with a woman that you can call your wife and have a family with.
How do you get a wife, Ethan? Because my thing is like you're like you're talking about the finish line. What about the race?
Yeah.
You stand like you have to get
Are
to a
either of
certain
you married?
point where you can even identify a female that's worthy of.
All right. How do you get a wife? Well, you, first of all, you actually start going, you actually, when you date, we date with the intention of finding a wife, right? So which means that like you're probably not gonna find a wife somewhere at the brothel, right? Or you're not gonna find a wife probably in Sasua or something like that, right? Or in Colombia, with around all these, sex trafficking ring and all that stuff. You're probably not gonna find a wife there, right? So then, therefore, you start with the environment of where you actually frequent, right? I guess that would be the first step on finding a wife, right? I would think.
Of marriage, of having a family with, etc. And unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's not that simple anymore. So we live in a very complex world where it's difficult to identify women that are marriage material.
And most aren't. Simply, that's just what it is.
So you guys are. If you guys' method is so good, why aren't you married?
Again, because men are the ones that decide if they want to get married.
Choice.
So you choose not to be married.
Yes, because men are the one. We're the gatekeepers to marriage and commitment. Women are the gatekeepers to sex.
Right.
All right. Here's the funny thing, right? Here's the funny thing out of these guys. Okay, look, we choose not to get married. All right, good. So cool, no problem. You choose not to get married. So then, therefore, what you're preaching is you're not preaching men how to actually get into a relationship that would lead to marriage and then to a family. Then you teach them how to get laid, which is different. However, they want to instead of being honest about it, be like, yeah, listen, guys, I'm just trying to teach y'all how to get laid. Actually, what? Sometimes they're honest. Sometimes the veil kind of fall off and they actually tell you the truth, right? But then once you play those clips about them being brutally honest at the time, then they turn around and be like, oh no, you just try to squander our names. We're teaching men how to be, how to be good individual. We're teaching men how to actually not to fall for Western women. It's like, bro, you teaching men how to get laid. So if you're teaching them how to get laid, so you have to teach them how to get women that's willing to give them draws. That's not gonna see sex as a big deal to them. That's not gonna see, their body as being sacred or being more reserved. So you're gonna teach them how to get, the 304s, the same 304s that y'all complaining about. Yeah, but anyway, let Ethan finish his point because I don't want to can I? It's already up on top right here.
And you're 34, right, Myron?
Yes.
And do you plan on getting married someday? Do you think it's important?
Eventually, the nuclear family is the backbone to any thriving society.
Oh, thank you for saying that about me.
Good job, but a lot of guys.
What's up with Ethan's fucking? Like, this dude got like his whole eyebrows done and everything. Like, Jesus Christ, is that a filter? I don't remember Ethan looking like this. This dude looked like he got a filter or like makeup on or something. Let's keep going.
Good job, but a lot of guys don't have that ability to find a woman that's worthy.
You don't have that ability.
Boom.
I don't have that ability.
You're not married.
That's by choice.
But no, the ability to find a woman, you clearly don't have that ability. So you use the sugar daddy websites as dating sites.
Yes, so we did.
I mean, so far, where's the lie? Where's the lie here? All right, it's taking the wrong time for it to do this. What's wrong? What's going on? Man. All right, so the whole point is this, right? I think anyone who's on their 30s and stuff, anyone who's on their 30s and who's still single, have some sort of internal issues that they need to deal with. They need to work on, right? And it's now bring this subject about like men or women being 30 and stuff like that. Oh, look, this is a subject I wanted to talk about because I don't know what's going on with this thing. What the hell's going on with you, man? What's going on with you? Come on, baby. Don't mess with me. No, you can't. No. It sucks. Oh, let's see if I can.
Oh, if they've learned anything, it's probably how to respect and
right.
how to, aren't you married?
Again, because men are the ones that decide if they want to get married. Choice.
So
What the fuck?
so you choose not to be married.
Yes, because men are the one. We're the gatekeepers to marriage and commitment. Women are the gatekeepers to sex.
Right. And you're 34, right, Myron?
Yes.
And do you plan on getting married someday? Do you think it's important?
Eventually, the nuclear family is the backbone to any thriving society.
Oh, thank you for saying that about me.
Good job, but a lot of guys don't have that ability to find a woman that's worthy.
You don't have that ability.
I don't have that ability.
You're not married.
You don't have that ability, man.
That's by choice.
But no, the ability to find a woman, you clearly don't have that ability. So you use the sugar daddy websites as dating sites.
Yes, so we did a whole episode
And
on
then
this.
you complain about women being shallow.
I never complained about women being shallow.
You say it's hard to find a good woman because they're motivated by material things and stuff, and yet you're seeking women, specifically a certain type of woman, obviously, that would be on a sugar daddy website.
Boom.
So it seems like you are confirming your biases by even going there to find women. What?
Okay, so you
Sorry,
said
Walter. I'll say it. Do you want me to say it again slower?
That's the thing. Listen. That's the thing, right? It's like, how the hell you complain about 304s when all you do is put yourself around 304s? It's like, oh no, these women, oh, they are shallow. Oh no, they have high body count. They are not faithful, and all you do is put yourself around women that are clearly shallow, that are clearly 304s, that are clearly gonna like play you. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The reason why you put yourself around these women is because you, at the end of the day, you try to get some punani as quick as possible. And a woman with common sense gonna look at you and be like, nah, I'm good. So, because you want a woman that's gonna quickly fall for your bullshit, so you have no choice but to put yourself around women that are 304s. You know, the type of women that you love to complain about. And it's like, and Myron's like, what, 30 and stuff, right? So 34 years old, and you're encouraging these men to actually sleep with as many women as possible, right? But you are still in the dating market, so which means that you are competing with these young men. That so you're competing with these young men, and that's why, like, I think, who was I listening to that said something like, the OGs are competing with these young men, so then therefore their advice is not there to help these young men. Their advice is there to actually like get the competition out of the way, which I truly believe that, because if you're pushing the fact that men shouldn't get in a relationship, right? Men shouldn't do this, men shouldn't do that. So then therefore it makes more women available to you to run your BS game. And then therefore now these young men, yeah, they might have the
Traffic
potential.
is getting worse. You are still on the best route. You will now arrive at 3:54 p.m.
Oh no. Oh, I gotta get back on the road soon. So I'm gonna finish this point real quick, right? So you have all these so-called OG, right, competing with these young men. So if they're competing with them, right, because a lot of them, they're like on their 30s, they want to mess around with 20-year-olds, right? 18 to 25, right? That's their bracket, because to them, once a woman hit 30, then she hit the wall. She's half off. So these guys are competing with young men. Why on earth would they give these young men good advice? Because all they're gonna do is actually make the competition stiffer, make the competition harder, which is why you have all these men, right, doing some of the most dumbest shit out there. First thing they want to do is like when they finally get a date, when they finally take a girl out on a date, and then they'll hit her up with like, so, bring that little iPad. What do you bring to the table? Like, bro, is this like a quiz or something? Like, and then they start spewing that Andrew Tate. They start spewing that fresh and fish shit. And then after that, they go home to Pamela and then bitching about like, oh no, I went to a date and then this girl was trying to take advantage of me, And as soon as I start asking her some question, she turned sour and then she didn't want to go home with me and stuff like that. And she expected me to pay for the full meal. No, I said, no, you gonna give me some ass? She said, no. And I said, all right then. What would Fresh and Fit do? Yeah, Fresh and Fit would go Dutch on this, would go 50-50. So I told her, yeah, let's go 50-50. And then, you high-fiving each other, circle jerking, and all that stuff. You think Fresh and Fit gonna give you advice that's gonna be beneficial to you? You think Andrew Tate gonna give you advice that's beneficial to you? Andrew Tate was making money off of you. He was running like these cam girl and stuff like that, right? And you're so desperate. He was taking the money off of you. Now that dried up, and he actually saw a whole new potential, a whole new crop of people. And now he's your savior. How the hell the person that was providing the poison, you expect that same person to provide you the cure? Or expect that cure to be legitimate? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. These podcast masculinity they're not there to help young men. They are there to keep you angry and single, because the angrier you remain, and no girl wanna deal with that energy. So then, therefore, now it creates that perpetual cycle where you remain single and angry, and then now they will provide you with that red pill bullshit. So then you always have a place to come through and complain about how these women are shit. And the reverse is still the same thing. Because why the hell you think, let's say, a girl like Cynthia G is so popular? She keeps you angry and single. And because you guys lack the self-awareness, you guys refuse to look in the mirror. So it's always easier to blame the opposite sex as to why you're miserable. As to why you can't seem to get along with nobody. As to why you can't develop any skills, any, like, you don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to actually have, like, those soft skills that you need in order for you to communicate, to navigate through this whole scenario, shit like that, right? Life is not a quiz. The way that you guys try to break it down, as if like women are some sort of machine and stuff, right? Like, if you say this, then she's gonna say that, and if she replies to this, then therefore that's a red flag, and you gotta do that. And it's like, bro, y'all overthinking this shit. You're overthinking it. The fact that, like, what happened to just meeting an individual and actually just have a conversation? No expectation, none of that stuff. You just have a conversation. And if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't go somewhere, you just move on. But without the resentment that comes with it. It's like, I think it has to do with entitlement, right? There's this level of entitlement where women feel some sort of entitlement towards men, and men feel some sort of entitlement towards women. And at the end of the day, just entitled people that are now bitter because life ain't going their way, and they feel like, hey, I'm unhappy, so it can't be my fault. It can't be what I'm doing, so it must be these people's fault, right? Which leads to why you have like so many single 30-year-old nowadays, right? And it's not like I came across this tweet, right, where they were talking about, like, let's say women on older men, or 30 and over, are dating young women, and then women are not happy about it, and then you have, like, it's I gotta find it real quick, right, because I thought it was actually quite interesting. And oh yeah, here it is. Hold on a second, let me put that in there. All right, so let's see. All right, somebody said, I just feel like if two people are in a relationship and have an age gap that are 10 plus years, the younger person in the relationship should be over 30. Right? So that's what this lady says, Tony Tone. Right? And so of course the whole thing goes freaking nuts. So you have like let's read some of the reply real quick. So you think it would be fine for a 30-year-old man to date a 50-year-old woman? That just doesn't sit well with me, right? That's from I don't know, Zundelicious. Yeah. And somebody says I agree 100%. Well, this is the thing, right? This is the thing with, let's say, the whole age gap, right? There's a level of maturity, and the other person, the younger person, cannot actually match that energy, right? And there's the power dynamic that comes with the age gap. Say, for example, and that's on both sexes as well. It's not like, and this is the funny thing. I have to point out the hypocrisy, right, when it comes to the whole age gap thing, right? We're both hypocrites. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, like, I was gonna point out the women's hypocrisy, because obviously I'm biased in that sense, and I've seen a lot more women hypocrisy when it comes to the age gap than I've seen men hypocrisy, right? Because when you have, let's say, women have a problem when they see men dating younger women, right? And they call it predatorial, and they call it a whole bunch of names, stuff like that, right? Oh, these men are predators and blah, 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 right? All right, fine, ladies, fine. A 30-year-old dating an 18 or 20-year-old, stuff like that, it's some predatory behavior. All right, fine. But are you willing to say the same thing for your counterpart? Because when I see a 40-year-old going after a 19 or 20-year-old, like, the new divorcee, the one that want to get back into them streets, the one that want to get their back blown out by them fresh young pookies. Are you also calling them predators? I have a feeling that you don't. I have a feeling that you come up with all these cutesy names for them. MILF, cougar, zebra. Wait, is that a name? You guys come up with a whole bunch of names that are like cute, that are fun, that are so innocent when it comes to women going after younger men, right? But what do we call older men going after young women? Oh, let's see. Peter Pan syndrome. Oh, this brother ain't growing up. Or predator. You going after these women because they're dumb. They are predators. I agree with you. Yes, both of you mother are predators. But here's the thing, though. And like, it's hard. Let me dissect that real quick, right? Because let me look at it from a male perspective. I'm going to give it to you from a male perspective first. And then after that, I'm going to see if I can try to understand where you ladies are coming from. From a male perspective, right? Let's say you take a guy like Fresh and Fit, right? You could tell Fresh and Fit were goofballs growing up. And they did the right thing. They went to school, they get their degree, they work on themselves, they get their money up. So then now, they're on their 30s. Finally, the coochie gate has been opened for them. For the first time, women actually want them. Granted, the women want them for their money, but that's a whole different story. For the first time, women want them. And they realize there's no way in hell they're gonna give up the opportunity. The coochie gate has been opened. And for the first time, they are getting laid by the dozen. So why on earth would they give that up when they were on their 18 or 19 or 20? Women their age were going for guys that are on their 30s. So in a way, I understand. Because the resentment is real. It's like, if you are on your 30s now, right? You were being rejected when you were on your 18, when you were 19, when you were 20. You are being rejected by women that are on your age group. So then now, these same women on their 30s as well now all of a sudden they want something to do with you. How the hell? How the hell you expect these guys to not feel some type of way? Because they're looking at, when they were 19, they were looking at the 30-year-old with resentment, right? And them 20-year-old that was actually going for them 30-year-olds, right? They were looking at these people with despair like, oh, I hate you guys. I'm a nice guy, goddammit. I'm doing everything right. Why can't you just date me? Right? Or they might have had a girlfriend their age. And then that girl ended up cheating on them with a 30-year-old. So the resentment is there. They're gonna feel that resentment. Right? So it's like Like, part of me, I can't really fault them, right? Because it's like, it makes sense to have that level of resentment. But then, you got now the, should I say, the predatory aspect of it, right? The predatory aspect is this. A 30-year-old gonna be way more mature than a 20-year-old. Well, not really mature, but they do have certain leverage that a 20-year-old wouldn't have on another 20-year-old. So then these guys are looking at it from a perspective of like, well, I can have a car. I can have, a car that I'm paying a high car note for, right? And everything, but a 20-year-old's not gonna care about that. A 20-year-old not gonna care about my credit score. As long as I have an apartment that looks nice enough, that looks like I pay a lot of money for it and everything like that, and these chicks just want to have a place where they can smash. Whereas a 18 to 20-year-old, right, dating another 20-year-old that lives at home with his parents or his mama's basement, it's not gonna be the same as dating a 30-year-old that has his own place. So to them, just being a 30-year-old that have your own place is enough for them. To them, that's a step up in the right direction. So of course they're gonna go for them 30-year-old. And of course, now you at that position where you can run through these 20-year-olds. You can run through them like never before, like you couldn't back when you used to live at home back in your mama's basement. So of course you're gonna have that Peter Pan syndrome. But now, these guys, let's say, dating a woman their age, right? Let's say they're like fresh and fit, 34. Dating a woman that's, say, about 30 years old, right? Or between 28, about to be 30 in a few years. This woman gonna ask certain question that is gonna make a 34-year-old uncomfortable. Things like, so are you looking to be married or are you just looking to play the field? Do you want to have kids? What is your purpose in life? Think a smart 30-year-old, though, mind you, right? Because you do, ladies, I'm sorry, you have a lot of 30-year-old women out there that still act like they're in high school still. Dumb women. Right? But I'm not talking about these dumb women. We'll get to them later, right? I'm talking about like the ones that are like, okay, now they're done playing around, right? Or should I say the red pill used to say like they're done riding the car carousel, right? So they're done having their fun with them 30-year-olds, right? So they are about an age. They're like, 25, 26, they want to get serious now. And so now when they're dating, they're asking all the right questions. Like, do you want to get married one day? How many kids do you want to have? Like, what's your goal in life? What's your purpose? Where do you want to be in 5 years, in 10 years? And all this type of thing that makes these Peter Pan motherfuckers uncomfortable. Because I get it. Because you still want to have your fun, and these chicks coming up with questions that you don't want to answer yet. You just want to be able to play the field. You want to say certain things that make her laugh and giggle, and then you let her know, like, yo, I'll come back to my crib and just have a little fun real quick, just Netflix and chill, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the type of vibe you want to have. But these 28 to 30-year-old want to ask you questions that makes you want to tell the truth. You don't want to tell the truth. No, you want to get some draws. You don't want to tell the truth. So it's easier to deal with a 20-year-old that's not going to ask you these long life questions. No, you want to deal with these broads that actually you having like you having certain things in your house that's easily impress them. Like, oh wow, you have a bar, you have a bar at your apartment. Oh my god, that is so great. Yeah, girl. Yeah, you know, a big pimp in here, baby. Here, let me pull you another shot. That's the type of entertainment you want to have, right? But you don't want to deal with a girl that's like, you know, you 35, almost 40 years old, and the girl's like, so how long you been living in this apartment? Have you ever planned on getting a house? You don't want to deal with that serious question. You want to remain Peter Pan. You want to remain, you know, like, what's this dude's name? Leo DiCaprio. Motherfucker, like 50 years old now, I think, right? 50 years old, like, you know, like he treat these girls like an internship. He's like, all right, you're 20 years old right now. All right, good. You got like a 4-year internship with me. Soon as you're about to hit 25, I'm gonna have to replace you, right? Because you are now ready for marriage. And this is the right time for you to actually now go and look for your husband. So Leo DiCaprio is that the rite of passage for these young broads, right? And this is what a lot of these 30 to 40-year-old guys want to be. They want to be the rite of passage for a lot of these young women from the age of 18 to 25. And then they'll run through them. And then once these girls start asking questions like, so, are we a couple? Where are we going in this relationship? You know, like these uncomfortable questions. That's when you're like, oh, be gone, Satan. I would never, ever want to get married. And then she's like, but I did everything you wanted me to do. I did everything you asked, you know. Well, I told you, marriage is not an option in this Western society. How dare you think that I'm going to get married soon, woman? Not with all these divorce laws. I'm not going to get married. So the girls also, I wasted my best years with you. Like, I didn't tell you to stay. I never told you to stay with me, now did I? No, you chose to stay with me. And then now, let's say as a 25-year-old, right? So you get back onto the dating scene. But these same guys are telling these other young men, you know, your prospect, the one that would at some point take you seriously. These are the same guys as, you know, these OG, right? They're in their 40s. These 40-year-old guys are the same one that's telling these young guys, hey, don't you take these women seriously because I'll run through them. These women I'll run through. You know how I know? Because I ran through them. My boys ran through them. She was a sugar baby. What type of 21-year-old was dating a 30-year-old? I'll tell you what, she wasn't a good girl, and I'll tell you, she wasn't a good girl. So it's like, listen, I wouldn't have that level of criticism, right? If you guys weren't like, you know, just using these broads for like, you know, just pump and dump, right? So it's like on one end, you don't want no 30-something-year-old, right, to actually have any sort of love prospect or relationship prospect. But on the other end, right, you're looking at them as in like, you know, you getting these so-called young broads, right? And you're not going to make you have no intention of making an honest woman out of them either, because they are being used as pawn for whatever you didn't get back in your 20s. But now, let's get on the women. Let's get on you broads. Let's get on you broads when it comes to dating older men. Some of the things that these red pill guys say is true. Yes, a lot of you guys on your, you know, young, impressionable, 18, 19, 20. And it's like, listen, I'll tell you, this is the story of why I started growing my beard, right? Because before I used to shave all the time, you know, like, you know, looking all nice, a little sexy and shit, right? I used to shave my beard all the time. And the reason I started growing my beard is I was in England with I was in England with my daughter, right? We're coming back from school. I picked her up from school and everything, right? And then these two little high school broads, right, in the bus. And then one of them, you know how these girls get. They send one of their friends, be like, you all right? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, my mate here think you cute. You know I'm like almost 30, right? Oh, and I'm like, yo. And I was like so taken up because like, even though I was like almost 30, I looked like I was still young as hell, right? And I'm like, and I started thinking about like, yo. And I told them, I'm like, listen, don't do that again. Because a lot of guys ain't gonna care about how old you are. Right? They're gonna take advantage of that shit. So after that, I start growing my beard, right? Like, a little patchy here and there. Like, do you know how long it took me to grow this little thing? Right? Just so I could try to look older. Right? So it's like, so I do get it. A lot of you guys are just like, y'all try to grow up too soon. Y'all try to be around the grown-ups. Y'all try to make fake ID. Y'all try to do a whole bunch of stuff that will get a brother in trouble. You guys are just as predatory as the older men that deal with y'all. Just as predatory. The problem is that y'all even more dangerous. Because I always say, right, the weirdest time for a young man to be is between the age of 18 to 25. The reason I said that because 18, you mess around with a 15-year-old, you might still get some jail time. You're 19, you don't know she's 18 yet, she's like 17. Based on the parents, you might still get locked up. You're 21, you try to stay away from them as much as possible, but these young little broads, 16 and up, they feel like, they want to get to the club with the fake ID and all this little bullshit. So they get themselves into facility and try to look grown up. And then now, if you are a man, right, you're only between the 21 to 25, whatever, right? If you just thinking with your dick, you might slip and fail and land in one of these chicks. So it's like, it's difficult. You guys find a way to be around grown-ups because you know they have the transportation, because you know they can pick you up from your mama house. You have access to a car. These guys can do certain things that little boys your age can't do yet, right? And these are the resentment that you create because you refuse to deal with men your age. You created the monsters. Them 30-year-old now at some point were your age. And then now you don't think they actually see you hopping on them cars? You in high school, dealing with them drug dealers. You dealing with these guys, you know they're too old for you, right? You know they're too old for you, but you lying about your age. And these dumb old idiot never ask for ID or actually even be smart enough to be like, stay away from you, bro. But no, you guys were dealing with these old heads and stuff like that, right? Because they had a rickety ass car, a dusty ass apartment, and then you get to go to their crib to get your back blown out. How the hell you think them 19-year-olds gonna feel? Guys your age. They're looking at like, damn, I can't wait for me to get my credit up. I can't wait for me to get my money up so I can run through all these 20-year-olds. So of course they're gonna have some sort of resentment. They are gonna have some sort of resentment, right? But then now, let's deal with the reality of things. 30-year-old woman now that used to deal with them older gentlemen back then are now trying to put pressure on the 30-year-old men now for them to commit. And them 30-year-old now, 30-year-old men now that were actually having some problems when they were on their 20s refused to give that commitment to women that didn't want them back in the day. right? So who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? If I talk to both genders, both of y'all gonna feel justified. Both of y'all gonna be like, well, dude, we were all kids back then. Of course we done stupid shit. The guy gonna be like, no, you done stupid shit. Now it's my turn to do stupid shit. Oh, so you gotta grow up sometime. No, I don't wanna grow up. I wanna be a Toys R Us kid. Who's right and who's wrong? Who's right and who's wrong? Right? And it's like, I would say I ain't got a bone to pick in this fight. I got married when I was 24, 25, and I've been with my girl ever since. Right? So therefore it's like, and I did have a little bit of fun, right? I think I had a little bit of fun. I had just some I hate bragging, right? I had enough fun for me not to regret my 20s, right? I had enough fun for me not to feel like I missed out on anything. So therefore, the greatest regret I think I would have is if I actually let my girl go just so I could actually slay more women. Because we have a lot of guys, right, that are now in their 40s, right? All of them have a story of the one that got away. Because at the time they felt like they weren't ready yet. And I'm glad I'm not one of these guys. I'm glad I was actually like, when I had to make the decision between the streets and my woman, I chose her. Granted, at the time, I was kind of conflicted about it because, like, all committed now and everything like that for some weird reason. Whenever women see you in a committed relationship, all of a sudden they come out of the woodwork. Like, hey, stranger, I haven't heard from you for a while. How you doing? I'm good. I'm good. I'm in a relationship now. Oh, it's okay. Well, just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you can't have any friends now, can you? Oh, you bras are evil. Y'all evil. Y'all always want what you can't have. So yeah, that decision wasn't easy for me, but I'm so happy that she chose my girl over the streets, man. Cause holy crap, looking at you now, looking at you guys now, holy man, I am so happy I'm not single. Whoo! Oh my god, it's rough out there. It's hot out here for a pimp. But anyways, let's see you. It's getting dark out here, and I'm your host, The Haitian. So thank you for actually being here with me today. Me talking my shit. And I will see you guys later. I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out of here, guys. Peace.